trillion spend on environmental concerns of the new administration. Of course, with renewables like solar panels and wind turbines and even the batteries for electric vehicles, the use of silver will soar. And you know what's the kicker? We don't have enough silver to cover the demand. They said it would take 5.62 million tons of silver to meet all of our energy needs. The world's current known official silver reserves that can be assumed to be recoverable from mines is estimated to be less than 600,000 tons. So unlike gold, silver corrodes, which means the yearly demand will increase and supply won't keep up. Okay, so you would know this if you've been watching the Noble Gold YouTube channel. So I want you to subscribe right now because they will continue to cover the impact of the energy initiatives and how they will affect your savings, especially precious metals. So if you want up-to-date analysis, you can subscribe to the Noble Gold Investment channel and watch the video on how to invest for the future and sustainable energy and clean technology. Go ahead and subscribe to the Noble Gold Investment channel and also get their gold and silver investment guides for free. The link's in the description box below. We'll see you at the next report. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi.
You possess the power to impact the global narrative. Please share this report, and to get more videos like this, become the Next News subscriber by clicking the link below. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.
Well, the progressive pacification is in full swing, and it's taking shape in the push for a federal minimum wage hike, $15 an hour, that will crush low-skilled workers, decimate small businesses, and boost massive corporations who will benefit from smaller competitors going bust. Bernie Sanders has been bending Joe Biden's fragile ear enough to make the new president say this.
Well, I do think that we should have a minimum wage.
From one station of life to the next, no matter how attractive this a woman allegedly is or thinks she is, no man wants to be a woman. This woman baggage. One station next, and I guess anyone decides to get off that station and decides to get off the train because he was tired of bags and wailing in the Halle Berry, and it's got it simmering and boiling to the point where it is now exploded in rage, and now everybody sees that your Halle Berry isn't sweet. They now see the darker the Halle Berry, the better the juice. That's some sour juice there. Coming to paperback and e-readers in 2021, John Haynes, Taking Care of Business. A man who rules the world brings in a brand new partner to help him take care of business in this action-packed all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get John Haynes, Taking Care of Business in 2021 at online booksellers everywhere. The more bitter the berry, the more sour the juice.
There's nowhere you can hide, Spartan. Put as much distance between you and the truth as you want. It changes nothing. Pretend to be everything you are not. Teacher, husband, father. But there is one unavoidable truth you will never escape. You cannot change. You will always be monster.
With all of your accomplishments, fame, and beauty, it's as if you can't keep a man. Now,
But I am your monster no longer.
Will the bitter juice in your Halle Berry, because the sour response she gave clearly shows how this statement has really made her extremely angry, because in reaction to this statement, your Halle Berry made the statement saying, "Who said I wanted to keep them? I'm all that start again." Now, when I take a critical examination of this statement, it shows how extremely bitter your Halle Berry has become after this latest breakup with the musician Van Hunt. And it seems like your Halle Berry is seething in anger about this latest relationship failing, and this anger is really making her where she's going out here and making emotional reactions, because she knows that the clock has already stopped as related to her and relationships. And at 54 years old, she's got one foot in a grave and another on a banana peel as related to relationships. And that foot is anchored down by the baggage of 2 kids, by 2 different white zaddies, and 3 divorces. And this all is not nor does it show her as
Right behind. Let's see what the next one.
her, and it seems like that Jezebel spirit is one of the reasons why your Halle Berry just can't seem to make a relationship work with a man, because like Jezebel, your Halle Berry wants to go out here and be the leader in the relationship, just like her mother tried to be the leader in the relationship that she saw. And seeing the woman being the leader in the relationship is the main reason why your Halle Berry has had problems with your David Justice, with your Eric Benet, and with your Gabriel Aubrey. And all three of those men have clearly stated that this was the reason why they had problems with your Halle Berry and why they could not maintain a relationship with her, because she wanted to have all the power in the relationship, and she did not want to submit to the leadership and authority of those men in a marriage, like as stated, under the Most High living God. And that shows in the statement your Halle Berry made, saying, "Who said I wanted to keep them?" That is a Jezebel statement when you say, "Who said I wanted to keep them?" Because any woman who wants to be part of a marriage understands that it is not her choice of whether she gets kept by the man. It is the man's choice of whether he decides to choose her for marriage, and it is his choice of whether he wants to stay in that marriage. Now, these black women, like your Halle Berry, they follow this whole thing of being strong and independent, and they want to go out here and be their own woman without a man. But what they don't understand is once you go out here and try to be without a man, then you are just basically single. And when you start to go out here and try to lead that man is not going to go along with that. And I went in detail on this in my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. And it's clear to me that your Halle Berry is following the paradigm of failure I detailed in that book, Why 70% of Black Women Are single, because when you make the statement saying, who said I wanted to keep them, it's like you think that it is your choice of whether you get to keep the man, and basically you have the mindset that you think that this man is some sort of child. And no man is going to go along with being submissive to a woman in a relationship. No, a man is going to want to set a direction for that relationship because he wants to set the course, because he's trying to build something with that woman. But it's hard to build with a woman like a Halle Berry, because every time you try to establish a block for the relationship, she wants to go out here and tear down what you're working on instead of working with you towards something. And that shows with your Halle Berry in the statement. She's talking about, I'm living my best life. This is the statement that many of your feminists love to make as related to the denial that they have, as related to the men that they get involved with. Oh, I'm living my best life. This is a way to deny all of the mistakes that they make as related to relationships. And this is something that they make because they refuse to take responsibility for those mistakes. So when you hear women saying, who said I wanted to keep them and I'm living my best life, it's clear that they're in a state of denial as related to why their relationships are failing, and the reason why Halle Berry's relationships are failing, are staring her in the mirror. And she wants to sit there and talk about, if you make a wrong move, course correct and start again. But when you fail 6 to 7 times, it's clear that you're continuing to make mistakes. And with your Halle Berry, as she's thinking she's making course corrections, she continues to make the same mistakes over and over again. And that is clearly defined to
You don't look too good. Left, brother.
Jail that Halle Berry could keep a man she got in her feelings and insecure and decided to show us some pictures of this van hunt. And now that things have fallen apart between her and this van hunt, she is now posting up bitter memes talking about women don't owe you S. But the whole thing is, you do owe a man respect. And because Halle Berry grew up in a single mother household where she saw her white mother not showing this black man respect, she can't show any man of any race the respect that a man is supposed to receive inside of a relationship. And if a man can't get respect, then there's no possibility. For the rest of her life, because she's thinking that it's all about her choosing the man. But if you want to get married to a man, you have to go out here and be in a place where you can show that man respect, and you can show him respect by showing him love. And when you show him love, you
about the impeachment trial about. This is about holding accountable the person singularly responsible for inciting the attack.
Why not hold responsible the people for the steal first? Try that one first. If you held the people responsible for the steal,
let's start with December 12th. You will see during this trial a man brave, encouraged, and cultivated violence. We have just begun to fight, he says, more than a month after the election is taking place.
I don't think
and that's before the second Indian MAGA march, a rally that made serious violence, and even the burning of a church.
You mean the burning of a Black Lives Matter church?
Get up, brother.
You lucky this wasn't a real court. I will hold an objection.
On December 19th, 18 days before January 6th, he told his base about where the battle would be that they would fight next. January 6th would be wild, he promised.
I don't know about it, but I met a D.C. hood rat, and while I was in D.C., my night was wild. They say D.C. hood rats can suck the keyboard off of an iPhone.
And that, too, turned out to be true.
I would have to agree. Next!
You'll see in the days that followed, Donald Trump continued to aggressively promote January 6th to his followers.
With more tweets, of course.
In fact, in the days leading up to the attack, you'll learn that there were countless social media posts, news stories, and most importantly, credible reports from the FBI and Capitol Police that the thousands gathering for the President's Save America March were violent, organized with weapons, and were targeting the Capitol.
That would be a good damn reason to call backup. My grandmother would even call backup if that many blood was in her front yard.
This mob got organized so openly because, as they would later scream in these halls, and as they posted on forums before the attack, they were sent here by the president.
Because evidently, Donald Trump had a VIP list.
And when they showed up, knowing of these reports that the crowd was angry and it was armed. Here's what Donald Trump told them.
Told him I was there. Donald Trump ain't told me shit. I didn't go in no Capitol building. Common sense told me not to go into no damn Capitol building. Next!
President Trump whipped the crowd into a frenzy, exhorting followers, if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
You do know there's other ways to fight besides physical, right?
And then he aimed straight at the Capitol, declaring, you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength.
You know you can show strength in numbers, right?
And you have to be strong. He told them to fight like hell, and they brought us hell.
My daughter is starting to bring me hell. Ever since Kamala Harris got into office, she's starting to act more and more like Kamala Harris every day. You can use your imagination on that.
According to those around him at the time, this is how President Trump reportedly responded to the attack that we saw him incite in public.
And we supposed to believe these Donald Trump emotional whistleblowers on how Donald Trump was supposed to feel. Ain't that a bitch?
Delight, enthusiasm, confusion as to why others around him weren't as happy as he was.
That sounds like a menage a trois gone wrong.
Trump incited the January 6th attack, and when his mob overran and occupied the Senate and attacked the House and assaulted law enforcement, he watched it on TV like a reality show.
Or damn porno.
Over 3 hours after the beginning of the siege, for the very first time he spoke out loud, not on Twitter, spoke out loud to the American people. Here's what he said.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt.
So you might be saying, all right, the president is going to console us now. He's going to reassure America. He knows our pain. He knows we're hurt.
He know y'all cheated.
But here's what he actually goes on to say.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side.
What's wrong with that? That's not a lie.
So you think he's about to decry the mayhem and violence, the unprecedented spectacle of this mob attack on the U.S. Capitol, but he's still promoting the big lie that was responsible for inflaming and inciting the mob in the first place.
What? The truth?
It was to continue to act as insider-in-chief, not commander-in-chief, by telling the mob that their election had been stolen from them.
If he would have told them anything else, he would have been untruthful.
In this video, finally tell them to go home in peace. He added this message. We love you. You're very special.
Is it possible he was talking to the peaceful protesters that was there?
Distinguished members of the Senate, this is a day that will live in disgrace in American history. Unless you ask Donald Trump.
Because Donald Trump might be more optimistic.
Because this is what he tweeted before he went to bed that night at 6:01 p.m.
Next! Wait a minute, nigga. You said that 6:01 speech yesterday. We're not having that shit today.
At the beginning of the day, he told you it was coming. At the end of the day, he basically says, I told you this would happen. And then he adds, remember this day forever.
Maybe he was talking to America about what can happen if Americans get cheated. He was telling America, you need to get your shit together or this can happen. Next!
Like several of you, I am a child of immigrants.
Who gives a fuck? Get on with the case. Next!
Helpful to think about President Trump's incitement of insurrection in three distinct parts.
No, I'd rather talk about three things that led to the riot. Lies, fake news, and false information.
The attack, the provocation, the attack, and the harm.
Well, you have yours and I have mine.
Let's start with the provocation.
Yeah, let's start with number one, because people usually do start with number one.
They truly believed that they were doing this for him.
Well, they should have stayed out their feelings and left their feelings at home.
That this was their patriotic duty.
Well, maybe they should have called in sick on that day. They should have used their patriotic sick day.
They even predicted that he would protect them.
With what? Bailout money like the left gave Black Tifa during the summer riots of 2020? They had a trust fund. The Minnesota, whatever trust fund. Bail your ass out if you set a fire, burn down some shit, rob some shit, steal some shit, assault somebody, and possibly kill somebody. We got you. We gonna get your ass on out. We'll leave the light on for you.
Because here's the thing, President Trump's words, as you'll see, on January 6th, in that speech, just like the mob's actions, were carefully chosen.
I wish my daughter's boyfriends was carefully chosen. Then I wouldn't be getting calls from the vice principal talking about how she trying to become vice principal. That bitch, Camilla Harris, has ruined my life by influencing on how to rise to the top without an education.
Those words had a very specific meaning to that crowd. And how do we know this?
Because you're going to tell us, of course.
Because in the weeks prior to, during, and after the election, he used the same words over and over and over again.
What? MAGA, fake news, or the swamp? Take your pick.
You will hear over and over three things. You can see them on the screens.
Why don't you read them for me? I'm dumb as hell. I'm the only person in my family that almost graduated elementary.
That the election was stolen, full of fraud, rigged. You will hear over and over him using that lie to urge his supporters to never concede and stop the steal.
And y'all use the same three catchphrases over and over to try to get y'all supporters to accuse people of being white supremacists, racist, and always adding fuel to some damn fire.
And finally, you will hear the call to arms. That it was his supporters' patriotic duty to fight like hell.
The Democrats act like it's only one meaning to fight. Hell, I'm fighting sleep right now. Hell, I'm falling asleep right now watching and editing this video. Next!
This election be taken away from us. That's the only way they're going to win it. We're not going to let it happen. It's the only way we can lose, in my opinion, is massive fraud.
Because it can't be massive votes, because people don't fuck with Joe Biden like that. Next!
And then he told them, your election has been stolen, but you cannot concede. You must stop the steal.
You can't let another person steal that election from you. All over the country, people are together in holding up signs. Stop the steal. The Democrats are trying to steal the White House. You cannot let them. You just can't let them.
That was a warning to us, not to y'all, to us. Because we see what happened when you motherfuckers stole the White House. Executive orders out the ass.
That they had to be ready not just to stop the steal, but to fight like hell.
By raising our voices, not our fists.
We're in a fight for the survival of our nation, and we are going to keep on fighting. We will never surrender. We will only win. Now is not the time to retreat. Now is the time to fight harder than ever before. We have to go all the way, and we're going to fight like hell, I'll tell you right now. We will not bend. We will not break. We will not yield. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never, ever surrender.
I don't know one politician that never used the word fight for you, or fight for us, or fight with me.
Take a look at these tweets.
What's wrong with them?
On November 5th, he tweeted, in all capital letters, as if shouting commands, quote, stop the count. Stop the fraud.
Stop acting like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Next!
His words became their actions. His commands led to their actions. Take a look at this.
You keep on telling me to look at shit, I'm starting to get dizzy.
The same day as those tweets, around 100 Trump supporters showed up in front of the Maricopa County Election Center in Phoenix, some of them carrying rifles, literally trying to intimidate officials to stop the count, just as President Trump had commanded.
So I guess it was a gun-free zone inside the top zone. Nobody had any weapons. They took over the police station with love. Next!
His supporters used armed force to try to disrupt lawful counting of votes because they bought into Trump's big lie that the election was stolen from them.
No, they didn't believe in a big lie that the Democrats won.
This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
They don't look too happy, but they don't look like they're about to commit murder either.
They ain't taking it from us!
They're not asking for a fight, they're asking for a recount. That's different.
We were winning in all the key locations by a lot, actually. And then our numbers started miraculously getting whittled away in secret.
They will pay. They will be destroyed because America is rising. That looked like a peaceful protesters compared to the shit I saw doing Black Tifa protests. Black Tifa had some real riots over the summer. People died, shit got burned, and people got their shit stolen.
I concede nothing. We have a long way to go. Rigged election. Doesn't say why the election is rigged.
That's because you only get 160 characters to work with. That nigga didn't get a chance to break down the whole investigation and fraud investigation and what was wrong with the election in 160 characters. Next! You full of shit.
November 17, in a Twitter statement. Dead people voted.
And it was all Democrats.
Dead people voting all over the place?
If they didn't request one got mailed to them any damn way.
People that were dead were signing up for ballots. Not only were they coming in and putting in a ballot, but dead people were requesting ballots. And they were dead for years, and they were requesting ballots.
And video proof was released. Next!
November 28, Twitter statement. We have found many illegal votes. Stay tuned.
You ought to be the last nigga talking about something getting stole with all this shit Fang done stole from you. Nigga, please.
And it wasn't just Twitter statements. As you'll see, he was dialing into meetings, holding his election victory was stolen.
Speaking of stealing, I better take Jessica Kenner donation off of my Cashapp before Fang people hack into my account.
The alleged Biden margin of victory in several states is entirely accounted for by extraordinarily large midnight vote dumps. You saw them with going up to the sky.
He continued these attacks even after Michigan certified its votes.
Was you still fucking Fang after you found out she was a Chinese spy?
Take a look at Michigan. Take a look at what they did with respect to counties. And then you get to Detroit. And it's like more votes than people? Dead people voting all over the place?
Yeah, everywhere a liberal can vote, that is.
You know, I went almost every county in Michigan, almost every district. We should have won that state very easily. We have a similar type of governor, I think, but I'll let you know that in about a week.
The jury is out on that governor. That governor ain't shit. Next!
A few days after these clips, on December 5, his supporters surrounded the Michigan Secretary of State's home.
Secretary of State's house and the steal. Stop the steal. Stop the steal. Stop the steal. Stop the steal.
They lucky Black Antifa didn't surround their house, their shit would have been burned down and somebody probably would have got molested.
And he would tell them exactly what he wanted them to do. On December 26, he tweets, "If a Democrat presidential candidate had an election rigged and stolen, with proof of such acts at a level never seen before, the Democrat senators would consider it an act of war and fight to the death."
I know Hillary Clinton had to fight for death. That's why people got Jeffrey Epstein. She had to save old Bill.
Mitch and the Republicans do nothing, just want to let it pass. No fight.
That's why Mitch and the Republicans always getting fucked. They better stand up and man up and stop getting sexually abused. Literally.
He even stated again 14 minutes later to make sure his supporters understood, quote, "The Justice Department and the FBI have done nothing about the 2020 presidential election voter fraud, the biggest scam, all caps, in our nation's history, despite overwhelming evidence. They should be ashamed."
And most of them should be fired, because we all know the DOJ is some corrupt sons of bitches.
And then he adds, "History will remember. Never give up. See everyone in D.C. on January 6th. That phrase, history will remember, was the first time Donald Trump had used it in his presidency.
Because the election being overturned would have been history, not the damn siege on the Capitol would have been history.
And he sent this to 70+ million Twitter followers the day they needed to show up and be ready to fight.
Well, only about 1 million of the 74 million showed up. So 73 million people didn't get that message.
On December 27, he reminds them again, don't miss it. Information to follow. A few days later, December 30, all caps, see you in D.C.
All caps. Ooh, that's real scary.
This continues all the way up to January 6. On January 1, he states, the big protest rally in Washington will take place at 11 a.m. Locational details to follow. Stop the steal.
What part of that say take your ass inside of the Capitol building?
You'll see that an hour later, President Trump retweeted one of his Twitter followers.
So now Donald Trump can't retweet somebody tweet.
That follower was Kylie Kremer, Executive Director of Women for America First, the group organizing the January 6th rally, and the creator of the Facebook group Stop the Steal.
A group that the Democrats probably got a problem with because of their name, not because of what they stand for. The Democrats don't like women no more. They like men that act like women or turn into women.
Kremer tweeted, quote, "The cavalry is coming, Mr. President," referring to the cavalry showing up on January 6th.
Cavalry means supporters. It don't mean no damn militia.
She also added a website for supporters to RSVP and made clear what the message was. Hashtag Stop the Steal.
Hashtag not raid the Capitol.
And what did President Trump say in response to hearing that the cavalry was coming? A great honor, he wrote back.
It was a great honor that my boy Jarvis Austin donated to my organization, Save Black Boys. And Jarvis know for damn sure the donation he sent to Save Black Boys ain't gonna stop the hit. And you know what hit I'm talking about too.
This wasn't just a single tweet. He and his organizers would do this over and over repeatedly.
You know how many Donald Trump tweets was shared over the years, and you complaining about a couple? If that was the case, you should have been banned Donald Trump 4 years ago.
On January 3, another supporter tweets, "We have been marching all around the country for you, Mr. President. Now we will bring it to D.C. on January 6 and proudly stand beside you. Thank you for fighting for us."
We're gonna fight for you, not with you, not for you, but with you, by your side.
When President Trump reposted her tweet, she wrote back, "Best day ever. Thank you for the retweet. It has been an honor to stand up and fight for you and our nation. We will be standing strong on January 6th in D.C. with you. We are bringing the cavalry, Mr. President.
Damn, how many women words are the Democrats going to single out? There wasn't no angry men?
I won't show you all of the Twitter statements, and there are a lot, but here's one more.
From another woman, I bet.
President Trump retweeted another of Ms. Kremer's posts, which had all the details of January 6th, with the same hashtags.
So she was the ringleader of the insurrection.
March for President Trump, do not certify, stop the steal. And in response, President Trump, he writes back, I will be there.
That was my boy, man. She's like my best friend in college, dude. Straight up.